So as much as I whined and complained about about the relationship readings, like I went to go make a cup of tea and go to bed, and I was like, kept getting this feeling of like, you're not done, you're not done, you're not done. And then I got this feeling of like dread, despair. Despair is the more appropriate word, despair. And then I was like, okay, all right. So I'm here for the one that is calling out in despair, which I love, which I not that you're in despair, but like I love being here. Um, as ridiculous as it sounds when you put it in a sentence, like the readers, when I began my spiritual journey, the readers on YouTube played such a significant role. I mean, I view it a little bit differently, I think, than most people. Like, I'm a firm believer in the messages that come through with the way that, I disregard algorithm. I don't care about the metrics. Half the time, I don't even like put tags on any of my videos. I don't believe that they get there that way. I truly believe that it is vibrational alignment. I believe that this message is actually co-created by you for you, and that it's received. Like, it comes to you when it's ready to come to you, unless you um find this and then go through all the videos. Which, like, yeah, you could look at my channel. That doesn't happen. That's not the point. Um, and this is gonna kill you IT people, but like I don't even believe in the algorithm. I am not even joking. Um, the message I trust the universe wholly, and I know that the message gets to where it needs to get to when it needs to arrive. Okay. With my tea, I had animal crackers, so I might have to stop in the middle and get some. All right, this message of despair, this energy of despair. What is happening? Who's this for? Okay. All right. We're gonna pull a sign card, which I don't usually do for like, can we just do the dice? Oh, okay. All right. Uh, I love that. I don't know if you've I don't talk about it very much, but the way that I connect with collective consciousness is through multiple sources. One specifically is like a version of a higher density version of myself, if it makes any sense. And she's kind of snarky with me sometimes. And when I asked for, can we just use the dice? And I couldn't find it, she was like, yeah, if you were more responsible and you knew where it was. And she's funny, right? Mm. All right. Give me 1 second. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at that. One card off. 13. Oh, death. All right. It's maybe one of those readings. Death, transformation, rebirth. It's where the despair comes from. It's from the ending, from the transition. There's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Transition leads to death leads to rebirth. That is that's a beautiful thing. Think of the phoenix. It's that transmutation. It's not so much about the rising from the ash, it's not about um a representation. It's not about the representation of the trials that you went through, right? It's not about the burning. It's not about the destruction. Oh, it's not even about the strength that's needed to rise after that. It's actually about the transmutation of those energies. It's the beautiful alchemy that it takes to do that. All right, can we sign, please? One more shuffle. Thank you. Cancer. So we have a Cancer and despair. Okay. No, it's not just Cancer. Aries, Pisces. Cancer, Aries, Pisces. One for Aries, Pisces, and despair. You might be dealing with one of those. I am not feeling Aries here. Cancer and Pisces. All right, despair. Judgment. Judgment, first card out. I'm sorry. I said judgment. It's not judgment. It's justice. Okay, we're gonna keep that. Let's keep that in the forefront of our mind. You might feel like like a last chance energy. Death. I knew it. I could feel it before we even started. Justice. Death. It's like you're being forced into this rebirth. Like how you feel it's like a force. There's something karmic here. The Queen of Wands. Well, it's really you're having difficulty balancing. Why is this Queen of Wands here? All right, acknowledged. Why is this Queen of Wands here? Death. Good. So okay. So what I got called to do was change decks, and that's the reason because they needed another death card here. Okay. So there's it feels like there's despair here of having to let go of a getting like a part of your personality, which is odd because the like personalities I don't I don't really intuit person um intuit direct components of personalities with tarot. Archetypes, yes, but archetypes are universal. Everyone goes through those archetypes. We have four cards in the you want me to take them in the reverse? All right. We have the Eight of Cups in the reverse, the Six of Wands in the reverse, the Seven of Wands in the reverse, and the King of Swords in the reverse. With the second Death card here, there is a component like you were being forced to um, come into this rebirth. God, it almost feels like a second rebirth. This transformation, you were asked to, it's, and this forced is, it keeps coming through. Like you feel like you were forced to change the dynamic portion of your personality. Not even change, it's like to kill it off. Eight of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Seven of Wands in reverse, and the King of Swords. You were forced under under duress. That's interesting because there's a threat of being left, taken away, taken away your recognition. Or maybe that's losing, like losing, yeah, you're like losing a, wow, that's interesting. Okay, so forget the first part for a second. We have Eight of Cups in the reverse. So this is the energy of Eight of Cups in the upright is leaving something behind in order to get something better. And it's not as bad as it seems because the Eight of Cups, if the way that I look at it, the Eight of Cups is like 8 out of 10, right? So we've got these cups of love, this things from the heart space, this thing that speaks to our emotions. 8 out of 10 is 80%. That's a beat. That's really not all that bad, right? But the person in the Eight of Cups card knows that right over that mountain, and it's a big ass mountain, but when they get over the mountain, there's actually 10 of cups on the other side. So they walk away from eight, which they loved, right? For in hopes for 10, which you should like, we're not going to settle here. This feels like being stuck in a place of settle, like held back, held down, restricted in this way. You're being forced, like in a way, to stay in something that is less than what you could have had. With the Six of Wands in the reverse as well, when I said that it was under duress, it's almost like this person is you're being forced into this it, like extinguish. Yeah, it's like it's being extinguished of your all right, so the Six of Wands is talks about victory, um specifically coming home after a battle victorious, right? It's also about being seen, recognized, recognition for your accomplishments. You're being minimalized, minimalized. You're being minimized here. Your accomplishments specifically, the recognition that you deserve is being minimized. You're not even with the Seven of Wands being able to defend yourself regarding this, or as you were standing your ground. You were taking like it, okay, and then with it, we have the King of Swords in the reverse. This is an incredibly strategic, manipulative person. Cold, cold, manipulative, strategic person. Highly intelligent. No, there's no emotion here. It's like they stripped you, minimized you, stole everything that was yours by minimized you, and you can't even stand up for yourself. The Queen of Wands is a very out of all the queens, she's the one that just doesn't. You don't. The Queen of Wands is enthusiastic and dynamic. She she makes decisions out of action and passion. You know, like to me, besides the Queen of Swords, she's like even the Queen of Swords pauses. The Queen of Wands doesn't pause. She's very fiery. She is action oriented. She's also the only one of the queens that I feel makes decisions without the king. With all of this together and then coming into this reading with this feeling of despair, this really feels like you're under the thumb of a tyrant. And this tyrant is not only like bossing you around, right? This person is taking away things that are rightfully yours, like divine birthright yours. Okay. Like, why, why do, why did I need to come to the table to, besides the fact that I love it, but why was I called for this? Why does the viewer need to know this or need to hear this? They already know this. What's the purpose of this reading? Oh, so it's strength in the reverse. Yeah, because you're hemorrhaging energy. You're you're losing the will. You are losing your will. So you are becoming extremely depleted energetically. Yeah, but how is hearing that going to help? What is the viewer? How do we how do we stop the hemorrhage? How do we stop the hemorrhage? The Ace of Wands, the Chariot in the reverse, and the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Hmm. This doesn't quite answer the question, right? Um, with the Ace of Wands and the Chariot in the reverse. So the Ace of Wands is in the upright. Um, in order, because your natural Queen of Wands energy is kind of being like snuffed out, right? This is a way to reignite it. Um, in order to reignite it, and with the significance of like what's happening to you, we need to stall the Chariot. But like with the Knight of Swords in reverse, I mean that almost feels like misinformation. We need to stall misinformation. Okay, so how we reignite it by stalling misinformation. It's like slowing down the spread of of lies. Okay. Okay, is someone lying? Like, is okay? Obviously, with the King of Swords in the reverse, like there is a substantial amount of um control being exerted here. Yeah, the Magician in the reverse. You're dealing with somebody that's highly manipulative. It feels like they're like manipulating the truth. What does this have to do? Like, what? In what way is this person have that much power? Okay, you're being kept small and your achievements minimized, even neglected in some respect. You have no way to defend yourself because this person has this amount of control and power. Who is this person? I know that they're manipulative. I've had enough of that word today. I don't like, I've legitimately had enough. Okay, I'm gonna have to say it because I have to honor everything that comes in. But like, either this is starting to like it's contagious and everybody seems to be catching on, or I am going to be viewed as one of those YouTube tarot readers that focus on this kind of stuff, and I'm really not. And although I have experience with it, like I'm healed, I'm not wounded because of it. But so I'm getting the word narcissist here, but I'm getting the word narcissist as it relates to employer. You might be experiencing a superior in your job that is suffering from narcissistic personality disorder, undiagnosed, of course. And this is the pretty, this, with the magician in the reverse, this is extremely malignant. This is not a covert narcissist. This is an outright malignant narcissist. I'm getting that for some. Who is this person? Okay, right. So we're gonna use the Citadel, which I don't even know. Can I get? I want to know if it's. I want to know if it's an employer. Yes, right. I got the feeling. It sounded kind of whiny. Like, uh, I'm glad to see that time doesn't exist in your realm. I understand the trapped feeling. Why allow fear to trap you? Fear of what? What's the worst? What's the worst thing that can happen? What's worst case scenario? So you tell your boss to piss off and they fire you. Okay. Are you not employable elsewhere? Okay. So regarding your magician in the reverse, we have the painter, productivity, creation. Oh, those are paintbrushes. All right. Thank you. Okay. And then we have the thief, seizing the moment and selfish. And we have the Smith, which is overthinking and taking action. Okay, so you might be dealing like this, the King of Swords here and the overthinking here with the Smith. Those are very similar in energy. But this person might be taking your ideas and saying that they're theirs. That's what this feels like. And they're in a position of power. Yeah, but why don't you just quit your job and get a new one? Why in such despair over this? This really feels like this is like this is an energy of somebody at your job, right? Somebody at your job that is legitimately stealing your ideas and pawning them off as their own. Yeah, we have the champ. Oh, look at this. We have the champion, achievement, downfall. Okay, so what's our advice here? What's the advice here? The Two of Swords. Okay, so this is a decision that you have to make. The Ten of Coins. Okay, so you're struggling with the decision because of the way that the job pays and supports your lifestyle, right? So you can either stand up for yourself here and make this go away by telling your boss to piss off, right? But the problem is if you do that, that threatens your safety and your security and your abundance at your home. The 10 of points. That's you don't want to do either of those. I don't know. I think maybe you want to tell your boss piss off, but you don't want the consequences of it. The magician at the bottom of the deck. That's interesting. I just got the feeling of like fighting fire with fire, right? Beating him at his own game. The magician in the shadow, not as strong as the magician in the light. In this case, in the upright. You have all the tools necessary in order to beat them at their own game. Although I can't say that I recommend taking on anybody with an energy hemorrhage like that. If you're already in a place of despair, I don't see like I'm just seeing Rocky, hearing hearing the I actually don't hear the theme song, but I know that as Rocky running up the stairs, I know that there's that theme song. I don't know what it is, but okay, Nine of Coins, Queen of Swords. Okay. So like yeah, but for what? What are we challenging here? What are we standing firm and independent and what are we challenging? What are we beckoning to come forward? the Eight of Wands, the Three of Coins, and Judgment. Whoa. Okay. Great. Is there anyone that is like above this person that is causing you a great trouble at your employment? I know that, okay, so like let's say there is like a corporate like involved, and I am well aware about missteps on corporate um chain of command, right? Especially if you end up with one wrong hire and that they are not responsive, right? It just it makes your workday literally impossible to endure, right? So I think that the recommendation here has to do with documentation specifically regarding so what I'm getting straight from the cards, right, is like independent assessment. Think of this like as a report regarding um, independent assessment that results in documentation of collaboration or of planning, right? That will be the solution with judgment to your problem. So when we look at this as a storyline, as an energy, like this independent here from your Nine of Pentacles, this analysis, it's like the feeling of like cutthroat, no bullshit analysis of what is actually going on, plus your recommendations, right? In the form of some sort of communication, in this case, written communication, written documentation. This might also be like substantive evidence in the form of written communication, in the form of documentation, in the form of whatever regarding productivity levels, cooperation levels, planning, what is actually going on with this Three of Pentacles. And that's going to be what's going to um, bring this to a close with judgment, right? Now, in practical application, how does that actually work? I mean, I don't know your profession, so I don't know how that would work. It's almost like by reporting your findings to the appropriate person, i.e., one leadership rung higher on the chain of command ladder, right? Than where you're a person who's causing problems. Oh, sorry. 3:33, 33:33 on the timer. I feel like I'm talking to a person that does something in like I'm getting independent analysis. Independent analysis. I don't know if that's like a report or it feels like a person that has a specific job category, job title, specialty, considered a specialist in their field, or what do they call that? A I can't think of it like because it's so freaking late, right? But like a specialist in their field. So you do this you do this independent analysis, right? Maybe it's within your scope of practice that you actually have the ability to do this independent analysis. It might even be an auto-generated report, right? Is there a way that you can run this report and like and use it in some sort of way that either puts you in a permanent position that is different, because I don't believe that doing this just to be recognized by one step above where your person, I don't think that that's going to be helpful unless that opens the door to a promotion. And I, but this judgment is almost like giving me that come to Jesus meeting type of feeling. It, okay, the three of coins is in the upright. So I don't feel like this is giving me an energy of like this report is going to be in some way damning to this individual. It would, the report itself or the documentation or the research or whatever needs to either elevate you to a place, to a status that they're like, oh, who is this person? How is it that we've never, gotten any of their ideas, their information, their assessments, their analysis before? Where are they new? And the person who's always giving you shit, right, and stealing all of your information and claiming credit on all of your stuff is like, oh no, sir, I think that they've been here for about 15 years. And they're like, wait a minute, this person's been here 15 years and we haven't heard from them. Why is that? And then they kind of have to like fess up. That's for some. Or you're then approached because of this, analysis that you did, this information that you brought to light, and they say something along the lines of, um, it's really impressive this information you were able to pull together. How long you've been doing this, and you could on the spot have, you know, well, I've actually done 1,500 analysis for this company over the last 15 years. However, my name doesn't ever appear on the reports, very casually, and then 3737 on the timer. That's 1010. That's 1 1. Mm. And then you could very easily slip in with, yeah, yeah, I really don't know why my name doesn't show up on the reports. You'd have to ask my boss, you know, whoever might be a way to do it. I really don't see any other way to defend yourself in this situation. Obviously, this person has something, they either have the power to fire your butt, you feel that you are unemployable in some respect, or you're highly paid in your profession because of the longevity of the job, or you are fully vested and you don't want to give. There's like a lot of dynamics here. So you can either confront the fear of losing that Ten of Pentacles, or you can confront the discomfort of finding a way to stand up for yourself. I mean, Spirit's coming through saying, hey, this person is in despair. Here's I don't know dick about running reports like this. Like, I don't even know if that's such a thing. I mean, obviously it's a thing. It's a thing because I said it. And so therefore it is a thing. I just don't have any idea what those are. It could also be timing, something about the documentation of timing as it relates to projects. Because of the forward movement of the Eight of Wands and the collaboration with the Three of Pentacles, it's almost like um, projected or allotted projected project completion time, something like that. That kind of seems like that might blow up in your face though, because that person, your boss, could easily just be like, well, if Susie Q in the cubicle over there worked faster, our projected time for these projects would be a lot lower. Productivity reports. It's just literally making my eyes cross. This is not what I do for a profession now. Except for the inner office politics. Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, it's there. I don't really participate in it at all. Mm. I have a little more freedom. Mm. You know, just I work in a position that's it's not really not really dress casual. It's not really dress casual. It's not really dressing either. Obviously. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that we want to say here? Right. Okay. Right. So anything that the viewer needs to be aware of besides the obvious, do we really need to give them anything more to fear? Anything that's in the dark that they need to be aware of? Anything that needs to come to light? All right. Try it again. Anything that needs to come to light. Okay, we have release and curiosity. Okay, you are being asked specifically to not um, do recon, right? Um, do not make yourself known at this time for being nosy. Don't be seen. See how this crow is like coming into the house to get into the trash can, right? Look at all the crows on the outside staring. Is this something about staying in your lane, minding your business? This is not something, oh, it's not a trash can, it's a pair of boots. I thought it was a trash can. That might be important, actually. Okay, for some, you didn't hear it from me. I assume no legal responsibility for your actions whatsoever. It's in the disclaimer in the front of the page. But like if there's like an electronic trash can that might have documents that might be useful, that's only for some. You're highly intelligent. Use your discernment. Listen to your intuition. Don't do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical, obviously. Yeah, electronic trash cans might be significant, but otherwise, stay out of sight, out of mind until this is taken care of. We have influence, distance, and mischief. Yeah, any influence, distance, and mischief. In memory. This almost feels like there is an energy that is not in office that is also aware of this going on. You might have a remote office that is also in cahoots, that is currently influencing the situation or benefiting in some way from it, the knowledge of it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah, there's somebody in a distant office, or I mean, it might not even be like when I think distance, I think like over the internet, but it might just be like in an office down the hall. This person might also be involved, and you're just not aware of that. This person might also be aware of it because they too are having the same issue. That is a thin line to walk. Do that one very, very carefully. Okay, so I trust that the universe pulled me out of bed at 3 a.m. for this message, and it helped whoever it was supposed to help. Okay, I'm gonna finish my tea and my graham crackers and go back to bed. All right, you are unconditionally loved and supported by the universe. Hands down. Truth be told, absolutely. It's interesting though, as a side note, that I do not see um I don't see the divine stepping in here besides through this message. Okay. Well that yeah, so I guess they are intervening. Um which tells me that you in your blueprint, your design of this experience, you set this up because you knew you were going to be able to handle it. It just with the strength in reverse, you're just I'm just being called to give you a little bit of encouragement because you're starting to be depleted. But it seems like something that you wanted to learn, overcome, and endure, participate in, experience without direct divine interaction. And really, I don't know that. I think that that's like extenuating circumstances, like check out the tower behind me, where the divine intervenes on our behalf because, we're too stubborn or uh, ignorant, naive, stubborn, mostly, acting like we're walking around with cotton in our ears and blindfolds on over our eyes. Like we don't see all the signs, they're constantly being given to us. We don't feel the intuitive hits. I feel like right now, because of that despair I felt when I sat down, you're just at a place where you might have asked, you might have actually called on your spirit guides, your team, which is really cool because I call on them as well to serve in this way. So I must have been calling on them and you were calling on them at the same time. All right. So when you end up knocking this bastard off of his chair, right? And he gets fired and you no longer have this problem, don't forget the ridiculous YouTube tarot reader that brought you this public service announcement. All right. Hit me up via email. Let me know how it goes when it's safe to do so, obviously. Okay. All right. Again, you are unconditionally loved and supported by the universe, and my unconditional love to you. Take care of yourself. Stay out of trouble.